He fell back into his left.
Shots rang out as Charlie was talking about transgender mass shootings.
And I just hope and pray that somehow, some way he survives this.
We here at the Dan O'Donnell Show also send our deepest, most heartfelt prayers to the family, to the friends, to everyone who knows and loves Charlie Kirk. He has been shot and, according to the Associated Press, is in critical condition after he was rushed to a hospital following a speaking event at Utah Valley University. That is all we know right now. The shooting was captured on video. Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz was actually in attendance when this happened and described Kirk being hit. He said he couldn't say for certain if Kirk was hit with a bullet, which of course he was, apparently in the neck, but saw him immediately slump backwards. Now, video that is making the rounds on social media, I will caution, is extremely graphic. However, there is one video in particular that purports to show Kirk being shot and blood just pouring out of his neck. The latest I have heard right before we went on the air is that, and I am praying that this is the case, that was AI enhanced video, that in fact there was not that amount of blood that poured from Kirk's neck. He was, however, we can confirm, shot in the neck. Utah Valley University, which is apparently the largest school in the state. It's a very conservative area of Utah, according to Chaffetz. And Kirk is part of Turning Point Action. He's the head of Turning Point Action and has been, for the past decade plus, touring college campuses and engaging in open debates with left-wing students, faculty members, whomever would show up. And he was actually, coincidentally enough, and sadly, ironically enough, answering a question about left-wing violence when that shot rang out.
So do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
The crowd at that point scatters. You could hear the pop of the gunshot. It was from apparently 200 yards away. This, according to a spokesperson for Utah Valley University, it was a high-powered rifle. There is a suspect in custody. I will also caution that video purporting to show the suspect, who appears to be a 60-ish-year-old white male. He is bald. He is wearing glasses. He is on the ground and was, according to witnesses, screaming, "I have the right to remain silent. I have the right to remain silent." It is not entirely clear whether that was the shooter. There are also people who have told Fox News that they know who this is and that they do not believe that this was the shooter, that he was merely detained. Information in these sorts of events, as you know, comes in very, very quickly, very continuously, and a whole lot of it now, especially with the advent of artificial intelligence that can even alter video that's purported to be shot live in real time. I would wait until there is any sort of official word on just what happened. Now, the best that we have thus far is from Chaffetz. Jason Chaffetz was a congressman from Utah, and he was actually at the event at Utah Valley University about an hour ago, shortly after this happened. And this happened just before 2 o'clock our time. So just within the last hour and a half to 2 hours. The shot rang out. Kirk immediately slumps to the ground. Already President Trump has weighed in. The Speaker of the House has weighed in. It is by all accounts, it appears to be an attempted political assassination. Again, the latest that we have. I will also offer a word of caution. There is an account calling itself something like 2VI News or something like that, that is citing Turning Point Action and saying that Charlie is in critical but stable condition. That's an account that has a grand total of 5,000 followers on X. I have never heard of it before that tweet, and I would consider that information to be dubious at best. The Associated Press cites a source on the ground in Utah that says that Kirk is in critical condition. Now, if he was in fact shot with a high-powered rifle from 200 yards away, as the university is saying in an official statement, at least a statement that was made by a university vice president, it would appear that this is a wound that is very difficult to survive. I don't want to get into speculation again. Let's get to Jason Chaffetz, who in about 90 seconds describes what he saw.
Well, I was there. I was up kind of on the second level because I wanted to be in the shade, but our daughter was there, our son-in-law was there, my wife was there, friends. This is our community. And, there's 2,000 or so people. The Utah Valley University is our largest university, 40,000 students, and people came out to hear the dialogue, the back and forth. Ask him anything. That's what Turning Point and Charlie Kirk's all about. Ask him anything. First question was about religion. He went on for about 15, 20 minutes. Second question, interestingly, was about transgender shooters, mass shooters. And in the midst of that, the shot rang out. Now, I happen to be watching Charlie. I can't say I saw blood. I can't say I saw him get shot, but as soon as that shot went out, he fell back into his left, and everybody hit the deck. A lot of people started screaming, and then everybody started running, as you might expect. There was some police presence, but there was no security check going in, which didn't happen. Charlie has some security in front of him, but you got the sense that the shot came kind of straight at him. And I don't think there would be many vantage points too far away because he was under an awning. It's a bright, sunny, beautiful summer, end of summer day in Utah. And I just hope and pray that somehow, some way he survives this.
Now, just within the last couple of minutes, a statement was posted by the Salem Media Group, which syndicates Kirk's radio show. He has a radio show. He has a very successful podcast. Obviously, he runs Turning Point USA. He is all over the country speaking on college campuses. His radio syndicator just put out a statement about 5 minutes ago. We are closely monitoring the tragic news regarding Charlie Kirk. Our hearts are heavy for Charlie, his family, his friends, and all those impacted at Utah Valley University. As a Salem family, we lift him and his loved ones up in prayer, asking God for healing, strength, and protection during this difficult time. That from Salem Media Group CEO Dave Santrella. Tim Pool, who is another very prominent conservative figure. He has a very successful video podcast as well, regularly featured on the Joe Rogan show. He has been very tight with Charlie Kirk. He has just posted that a source tells him that Kirk is in critical but stable condition. Again, all of this simply is not verified. Now, what I will caution, and any emergency room doctor or nurse will also caution, just because a patient is stable, that does not necessarily mean they're out of the woods when it comes to blood loss. A patient being stabilized means that their heart is beating normally. However, it is entirely possible that because of the amount of blood loss, there is significant brain damage, and that there might even be the possibility of brain death. Until we get a statement from the Kirk family, I'm not going to speculate as to his condition, whether or not he is alive. I would expect that we get some sort of official word very, very quickly. I would imagine that if Kirk is not in surgery, he has just gotten out of a major surgery. Okay, CNN is now reporting that the suspect is still at large, that the suspect was not, in fact, taken into custody. That initial report apparently was correct, that the man, he is a bald 60-something guy wearing a blue shirt who was detained and led away in handcuffs with his hands behind his back at that event immediately following the shooting, that was not, in fact, the shooter, that was just a man detained because it was believed that he might be the shooter, or that he was behaving suspiciously. And again, when law enforcement is responding to situations like this, in the first couple of seconds, you have a massive crowd. There was a very big crowd. This was at what appears to be the student quad, or a central area of campus. A little tent was set up. The crowd was massive. There had to be 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people who had gathered to see this. Again, this wasn't a speech per se. This was sort of an Ask Me Anything event where Kirk opens up the microphone and he will have left-wing students and professors just come up and ask him questions. You heard in that audio bit that we played, the person questioning him. This was a hostile question. Okay, big shot. How many mass shooters have been trans over the past 10 years? The number was 5. Okay, well, out of that, how many mass shooters had there been? Charlie was about to answer. He said, well, are we counting gang violence or not? And he is, of course, correct. Mass violence, mass shootings take 2 basic forms. The traditional style of mass shooting that we think about, the Columbine style attack, it is much, much, much rarer than someone opening fire, gangland dispute. There is some sort of fight at a nightclub where 4 or more people are shot. Somewhat beside the point, but there was a tent and it did not appear that there was a lot of security. What I can tell you is that at least at the Republican National Convention, I met and spoke with Charlie Kirk for, about 10, 15 minutes. I saw him later at the Turning Point party on one of the nights and was just talking with him and Riley Gaines, I believe, and a number of other people. And in my very brief interaction with him, he's a very, very kind, very nice guy. He did not have a lot of security around him. Then again, if this was in fact basically a sniper attack, there really isn't much of a way to defend against this. Now, in terms of the motive, we don't have a suspect in custody, it seems, but it would be hard to see what the motive would be other than political violence. Opposition to Kirk, who ironically was showing up to debate people he disagrees with, to engage in the sort of civil discourse that is becoming increasingly impossible in this country, because the sooner we face this, folks, and the sooner that we're honest about it, the better off we'll be. The number one threat of violence in this country when it comes to political radicalization is not coming from the right. It is not, as the Biden administration was falsely claiming for 4 straight years, it is not right-wing extremists. It is coming from the left. We just had a transgender extremist, deeply mentally ill, target Catholic school children. It was a little more than a year ago that there were not one but two near misses. One, attempted assassination of then candidate, former President Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, that only failed because Trump happened to turn his head. We now have unhinged elements of the American left who believe that that was staged, that Trump used dye packs and was never shot at all. He came within probably 4 to 5 millimeters of dying instantly on that stage. About 6 weeks later, he is very nearly shot and killed at a golf club he owns while playing around on a Sunday morning. And in fact, I believe the trial of that madman just started with jury selection in Florida yesterday. If you go back to the start of the first Trump term, in spring of 2017, we very nearly had the single worst political assassination in the history of the United States, as a deranged Bernie Sanders campaign worker drove all the way from Chicago to Virginia, stopped at a library to ask whether it was Democrats or Republicans practicing for the upcoming congressional baseball game on a field outside that library. And when he was told it was Republicans, opened fire, very nearly killing Steve Scalise. Rand Paul, very nearly beaten to death by a neighbor over political disagreements. The list, folks, goes on and on and on and on. The greatest threat that we face from a political violence point of view is deranged, lone wolf, left-wing activists or people who have been radicalized by increasingly unhinged rhetoric by people like, just for instance, Matthew Dowd. Within minutes of Charlie Kirk being shot, he was essentially on MSNBC this afternoon blaming Kirk himself for the rhetoric that led to whoever it was that shot him being so upset that he had essentially no choice but to shoot him.
He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to read. You know what? I'm getting conflicting reports. I'm going to wait for some official word. I'm getting conflicting reports on whether Charlie Kirk has passed away. We are going to. This apparently. All right. You know, folks, I want to provide the most accurate information I can. OK, so we're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll try to get to the very latest on an obviously tragic, incredibly tragic situation. We'll be back in just 3 minutes. You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Streaming live only on Hulu.
Limited tickets still available at AXS.com.
Get yours while you still can.
Capital One is the proud presenting partner of iHeartRadio Music Festival, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM. Visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Catch the final battle of the regular season. The Brewers host the Reds Friday, September 26th through Sunday, September 28th. Get in on Fan Appreciation Night and a tumbler giveaway on Saturday, the 27th. Close out the regular season with the crew. Get your tickets at brewers.com.
It's 5 words no one wants to hear. You need a new roof. Oh boy, who do you call? How are you going to pay for it? Hi, it's Jay, and these are all questions that run through people's minds when they hear those 5 words. But if you pick up the phone and call Semperfi Roofing, your new roof will be the easiest, most hassle-free home improvement project you'll do. Semperfi has thousands of 5-star ratings for both customer service and high-quality installation. Plus, they offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. 50 years. Also, since no one wants to pay these high interest rates, for a limited time, Semperfi is offering 5-year no-interest financing with minimum monthly payments for qualified buyers. So if you need a new roof, don't stress. Semperfi Roofing has got your back. It all starts with a free 21-point roof inspection to assess the exact condition of your roof and what needs to be done next. Set up your inspection today. 262-600-2910. That's 600-2910. Or go online to semperfiroofing.com.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi.
Make News Talk 1130 WISN your number one preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
We do now have confirmation from both CNN and the Deseret News, which is a prominent news organization in Utah, that the suspect in the shooting of prominent conservative activist and really conservative media superstar Charlie Kirk is not in custody. Again, the suspect or the person, the elderly man at the middle, 60-something man, boomer man, who was taken into custody at this event, who was detained, was not the gunman. Just to recap, for those just joining us, just before 2 o'clock local time, a single shot rang out. What Utah Valley University's vice president describes as a shot fired from a building about 200 yards away from where Charlie Kirk was speaking on campus. About 3,000 to 5,000 people had gathered for one of Charlie's Ask Me Anything debate events. And I just saw a post that was quote tweeted by the vice president, J.D. Vance. This gets even worse when you consider that Charlie Kirk, more than anyone else in America on the right or left, built his platform making a good faith effort to model civil discourse and debate in the public square. His entire project was built on reaching across the divide and using speech, not violence, to address and resolve the issues. In the middle of that event, a single shot rang out and Charlie Kirk was shot. There is video circulating of the moment that Kirk was shot. I have decided to post one of those videos that is not graphic, and that is by design. There is a second video that is circulating that is incredibly graphic, and it is now confirmed, or at least supported, by multiple witnesses who were right in the front talking to various news outlets, saying that at the moment that Charlie was struck in the neck, quote, blood just began pouring out everywhere. His eyes rolled back at his head and he fell backwards. The video that I have posted, because this is just a seminal moment in American history. Charlie Kirk is one of the most prominent conservative voices, especially amongst younger conservative adherents. He is one of the most visible and one of the most popular conservative voices. This can only be described unless extraordinary evidence arises that this is actually a deranged Charlie Kirk fan engaging in a sort of John Lennon-ish assassination because he just loved him so much and was just so deranged. That is not beyond the realm of possibility. But let's be totally honest with ourselves. Somebody in a building with a high-powered rifle shooting when Charlie Kirk was speaking right in the middle of an answer, tragically, ironically enough, about left-wing violence, asked specifically about the left-wing transgender who committed a mass shooting killing 2 children in Minneapolis 2 weeks ago. This is very obviously, again, unless I am presented with extraordinary evidence that this was not a political assassination attempt, this was rather obviously a political assassination attempt. This comes a little more than a year after the president of the United States was very nearly shot to death and would have been shot to death if he didn't miraculously turn his head. Charlie Kirk was not so lucky, and quite frankly, folks, if what I am hearing about where he was struck in the neck, the amount of blood that did pour from the wound, no matter how quickly first responders can be on the scene, and I am imagining that they were on the scene instantly, that the very first police officers who were there to provide security were putting pressure on the wound, trying to stop the bleeding. It is going to be, folks, I'm just going to be totally honest with you, based on what I saw and based on the reporting that I have been following over the past hour and a half, it would be no less miraculous if Charlie Kirk survives this than President Trump surviving his assassination attempt. That is just the reality. Now, before we went to break, I was seeing conflicting reports about whether or not Charlie had passed away. And now a reporter who I very, very much respect, John Solomon at Just the News, all right, I'm just going to read this from justthenews.com. And this is from John Solomon's website. Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk was shot on Wednesday at an event in Utah and has been confirmed dead at the age of 31. Multiple sources confirmed his passing to Just the News. Kirk was speaking at an event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. The university confirmed that police have a suspect in custody. The campus has been closed and classes canceled until further notice. Now, this was also being reported by Deseret News, and I'm refreshing X as quickly as I can, folks. All right, this is this is where. Yeah, this is where you are going to hear this first. Yeah, I Disclosed TV is also reporting that Charlie Kirk has been pronounced dead. The Deseret News is Probably. It's based in Salt Lake City, but this is the preeminent news source in Utah, or at least one of them. And there apparently was confirmation to the Deseret News. And you know what? We're going to take another break to try to figure out what happened here. Now we have a new statement from the university, from Utah Valley University. This is spokesperson Scott Trotter on September 10th, 2025 at 12:20. That would be 1:20 Central Time. A single shot rang out in the quad near the food court on the Utah Valley University Orem campus as Mr. Charlie Kirk began speaking at his planned rally. We can confirm that Mr. Kirk was shot, but we don't know his condition. The suspect is not in custody. Police are still investigating. Campus is closed for the rest of the day. Initially, it was believed that a shooter was in custody. Officials now say there is no suspect in custody. And what we do know now is that Charlie Kirk is either clinging to life or has passed away. And folks, for anyone who says now is not the time for prayer, now is not the time for action, or now is the time for action, thoughts and prayers are meaningless. They aren't. And I can tell you that during this commercial break, the very first thing I'm going to do is to say another prayer, and I encourage you all to do the same for Charlie Kirk, for his family, for his friends, for the conservative movement, really, frankly, for all of us. Dan O'Donnell here for Mander Collision and Glass, which really is your best decision after a collision. I've been trusting my vehicles with Mander for years, and I've referred dozens of family members and friends there. All of them say the exact same thing as Mander customer Adam, who left this 5-star review. Your car will be in great hands here. Brian and Crystal took amazing care of my BMW M4. I had dents and scratches from a tree branch falling on my car, and they made sure that the car was taken care of. Everyone at Mander was professional and timely. I hope I don't need their services anytime soon, but if I do, I'll be back. Mander has locations across the greater Milwaukee and Waukesha area, so getting to one is easy and convenient. And starting your repair is just as easy and even more convenient. All you need to do is head online to mandercollision.com.
Academic Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at accunet.com.
For legal reasons, we must state that the Matrix Bedroom from Penny Mustard is in no way associated with any major motion picture of the same name. Any similarities are merely a coincidence.
It's no coincidence. If anything, Hollywood was inspired by the Matrix Bedroom.
Why do you say that?
Come on, look at the Matrix Bedroom's sleek, smooth appearance, the angled hard lines,
the tapered legs, and inset drawers.
I mean, it is Penny Mustard's most contemporary bedroom.
You could almost say it's neo-contemporary.
Careful.
Solid wood.
Forever tight bed brackets.
And thick drawer bottom strong enough to stand on.
The Matrix Bedroom is a blockbuster.
We should really stop talking about this.
Fine. Take this blue pill and you'll forget all about it.
That's a jelly bean.
Yeah, I know. I already ate the red one.
The Matrix Bedroom with queen panel bed, 10-drawer dresser, landscape mirror, and 3-drawer nightstand, starting at $82.47 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
If you're someone who's experiencing shoulder, spine, hip, knee, or musculoskeletal pain and a total joint replacement might be in your future, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Their physicians specialize in same-day total joint replacements at their own ambulatory surgery center. See orthowisconsin.com.
A Giannis rookie card sold for $1.8 million at auction. Redefine Realty's winning real estate revolutionizing combo of MLS plus auction will achieve the highest sales price possible selling your home. Let yourself win. Real estate for winners. RedefineRealty.com.
I'm Total Health's Jay Johnson. The Falls and New Berlin. Additives, chemicals, and toxins in your diet can miswire the way your genes express themselves. Food is critical for health. Increased energy, better sleep, reversing chronic disease. A healthier, happier, pain-free you is simple. Schedule your free total health consult. Holistic health coaches will guide you to a healthier, happier, truly you. Seed oils, the number one source of calories in American diets, were developed as fuel in industrial lubricants. Seed oils cause dozens of chronic illnesses. Big Healthcare solution to nutritional related illness is their same solution to all health related problems. Drugs that also alter the way your genes express themselves, leaving root causes making you increasingly sick over time. What they never tell is eliminate seed oils from your diet, and cutting back on sugar will immediately improve your health. It's true. Total Health finds root causes of sickness, including nutritional deficiencies, then helps you, the whole complete you, achieve wellness. It's not theory. Relativity equals expertise plus execution. TotalHealthInc.com. That's TotalHealthInc.com.
I'm attorney Tom Grieve with Grieve Law. If you're charged with drunk driving, you're not just looking at a ticket. You're looking at a permanent mark on your record that can affect your career and your ability to rent a car or travel internationally, not to mention the classes you'll need to take or the ignition interlock device that you'll have to install. Your license will be revoked, and even with a work permit, you're one long meeting or traffic jam away from driving revoked and facing up to 1 year in jail. That's a lot more than just a ticket. And if you pay the ticket without a fight, you are agreeing to be on the hook for all of it. At Grieve Law, we believe one mistake shouldn't define your life. Our seasoned criminal defense attorneys focus on OWI cases with a track record of getting results. We examine your case, challenge field sobriety tests, scrutinize breathalyzer accuracy, and expose the weaknesses in the prosecution's case. If you have been arrested for an OWI, you're facing serious consequences. But with Grieve Law in your corner, you are far from facing them alone. Contact Grieve Law for your OWI defense. You are only guilty if you are convicted. GrieveLaw.com.
This time of year can be tough on a number of areas in your home. This is Dan O'Donnell, and if you're struggling with any electrical issues, I recommend the superheroes at Current Electric. Chuck Smith, a Brookfield Central grad, started Current Electric over 40 years ago. His mission was to serve our community with integrity and quality, and has done that at Current Electric. If you need something as small as an outlet or switch repair or a whole home rewiring, call on the superheroes from Current Electric. Go to callcurrent.com.
iHeart's Yacht Rock Radio goes commercial free every weekend. Enjoy the greatest 70s and 80s smooth soft rock all weekend. All commercial free. High tide, low tide, no tide. Yacht Rock Radio works anywhere. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search Yacht Rock, and make it a preset now.
Injured? Call Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Opinion, emotion, passion. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
All right, producer Eric, put down the music. Please put down the music very quickly. Just within the last minute, President Donald J. Trump posted on his Truth Social account, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you." This was just reposted by the official Rapid Response 47 White House President Trump's social media account. It is from the President of the United States, who has been regularly briefed. Also, apparently, Real America's Voice, which aired Charlie Kirk's show, is also reporting that Charlie Kirk, conservative superstar, and in just 31 years, I would agree with the president's assessment, a legendary figure in not just conservative politics or conservative commentary, but in these United States of America. Someone who captured the attention and converted more college-aged people to conservatism, to the Trump Make America Great Again movement than, I dare say, anyone save for maybe Trump himself. Charlie was, now we again, have not gotten official word, and I hate to say this, I am truly hoping that the president isn't jumping the gun here, but because he and Charlie Kirk were very, very close. In fact, President Trump's rise is inextricably tied to Kirk's. In fact, Kirk was one of the first, I believe, he would have been 22, 23 years old when Trump first burst on the scene, 21, 22, no more than college aged himself. He was a college dropout. Yeah, now Fox News is going with the word that President Trump is confirming that Charlie Kirk has died after he was shot in the neck in an assassination at Utah Valley University this afternoon. And folks, honestly, it's not that I'm speechless over this, that there's just so much that I want to say. There is so much sadness. I mean, just I can't say I knew Charlie Kirk. I talked with him for maybe a grand total of 20, 25 minutes last year at the RNC. But I'm some nobody. He's talking to me like I'm the most important guy in the entire Fiserv forum, and people who did know him. I can remember 2 years ago doing an event with Clay Travis, who you can hear on WIBA, WISN, who does know Charlie, did know Charlie very well. And I was talking to him, just, we were kind of shooting the breeze on major political figures. Weirdly enough, Alexi Lawless, the USA soccer player turned soccer broadcaster, also dyed-in-the-wool American conservative, was there. And we were kind of shooting the breeze about just various figures. And, I was asking, hey, did you ever meet Rush Limbaugh? And he was just saying what a good, decent human being Charlie Kirk was. That tracks. I've actually heard nothing. Everybody I've ever known from the Turning Point organization has been fantastic. And just at a human level, it just guts you that this was a 31-year-old man with a beautiful wife and two beautiful young children that had accomplished so much, and yet still had so many more years ahead of him to watch those kids grow up, to have the luxury of growing old with his wife, having grandchildren one day, and to have that taken away in an instant. Because why? Because he said something that a political movement disagrees with? Because someone couldn't use the microphone right there, scream at him, swear at him, berate him if you must. Like an absolute, and folks, I've never sworn on the air, but by God, I'm close now. Like an absolute coward to go almost a quarter mile away, 200 yards away, with a rifle. And he never even saw, like, God, I guess I just don't know. I honest to goodness don't know anymore. And to be in that same business, to be spreading the same message. But my God, we're so evil. We're such fascists because we talk about adherence to the Constitution, because we talk about American greatness. And for that, a 31-year-old father deserves to die. He died never even knowing what hit him. Never even know it. He's in the middle of answering a question and attempting to answer it in good faith and say, okay, are we talking about gang shootings with the rise of, transgender and left-wing violence? Now what he's a victim of that? He's a martyr for the cause? Already people are saying, well, let his death be a rallying cry. No, don't let it be a rallying cry. Let it be a moment where everything in this country changed. And I thought we were getting there with the murder of that Ukrainian refugee, 23 years old, just stabbed to death on a train. Because we have policies that Charlie Kirk decried that said, hey, maybe we should try to get these psychopaths off the streets. And because he dared to say that, because he dared to say what 80% of the country believes and agrees with, he gets shot to death. I am heartbroken. I am sickened. I am practically shaking with rage. A part of me, yes, is scared. Is this the opening salvo? Is it now hunting season on everybody with a microphone who spreads the gospel of conservatism? I just and all the while, the party and the people who are claiming to be on the side of angels. Oh, we love democracy. We're the defenders of democracy. All the while saying it's a war. President Trump is a dictator. He's a fascist. Well, what the absolute frick do you think is going to? People are going to internalize that. People have internalized that. Do I need to run down the list? Please, let me run down the list of assassinations and would-be assassinations. And they target the guy who actively goes to those campuses and doesn't scream at, doesn't demonize the morons who try to debate him. He tries to meet them on their level and talk with them, and he's shot dead for it. He's shot dead while doing it. Honestly, folks, quite frankly, I'm going to, I'm not even going to play don't even play the music. I'm going to take a commercial break, and frankly, I think I'm going to cry for a little bit. So you're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. I'll be right back.
From the Lynch Buick GMC of West Bend Total Traffic Center.
Right down 4145 at Watertown Plank. You got an accident. Heavy delays after that from Mayfair up to Hampton. Southbound delays starting out of Appleton and clearing up south of Capitol. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by First Choice Heating and Cooling. Don't be that family with no heat Christmas morning. First Choice preseason tune-up includes full safety check and combustion analysis. $89 off in September. Call First Choice Heating and Cooling today.
Hey, it's Vicki McKenna for Byrna, the compact kinetic self-defense tool you've been hearing me rave about. You know I conceal carry because it's not optional to practice self-defense anymore. It's my obligation. But there are a lot of places that post against it, so I need something on me at all times. That's why I also carry a Byrna compact, less lethal pistol launcher for those times when a gun is just not an option. And if you can't or you don't want to get your CCL and carry a gun, you absolutely need Byrna. Their new compact launcher is so small and easy to conceal. It has zero recoil, but it packs a big punch. It's equipped with tear gas and kinetic ammunition designed to incapacitate an attacker up to 50 feet. And if you have an elderly parent living at home or a new college student, Byrna's compact launcher will give you some peace of mind that your family can protect themselves. Byrna requires no background checks and is trusted by hundreds of police departments worldwide. Visit Byrna.com today to find the right launcher for you. That's BYRNA.com.
I'm Reset Restore MD's Dr. Jennifer Grieve. For people that are suffering from depression, anxiety, and PTSD who are desperate for relief, intravenous ketamine can provide the relief of a lifetime that other therapies can't. Listen to R&R MD patient feedback.
Depression plagued me for years. Antidepressants, supplements, yoga, meditating, even energy drinks, nothing worked. After the first R&R MD ketamine treatment, the fog that gripped my brain for years was gone. It broke my caffeine addiction. I had energy, zero anxiety, zero fatigue, zero depression day one.
The staff at the clinic is amazing. The results phenomenal. Anyone suffering depression or anxiety, this is the only therapy that ever worked.
IV ketamine infusions at Brookfield or Mequon's Reset Restore MD induce neuroplasticity, triggering rapid growth of therapeutic neurological connections. R&R MD's superior intravenous ketamine infusions take about an hour, but the relief can continue for weeks, months, even a lifetime. R&R for Relief, Reset Restore MD, rnrmd.com.
Hi, I'm Karen Ellenbecker. For over 30 years, you've joined me on Money Sense, talking about true wealth, from finance to family health and lifelong learning. I've loved walking that journey with you. Did you know you don't have to wait by the radio each week? You can take Money Sense with you. Just subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or listen anytime at ellenbecker.com. Let's keep the conversation going, because financial confidence starts with education.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends September 12th.
See Home Club for details.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
That big online store has special days with ridiculously low prices. So why don't you?
We do.
You do? When?
Every day. Our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. Free next day delivery too.
Wow.
Yeah. Plus, through Monday, get a free box spring or take an equal amount off an adjustable base.
I guess you could say that now is a prime time to buy.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Jay here. I love hearing about how satisfied customers are with Engine and Transmission Exchange. Carolyn says she was very pleased from the first call that she placed. She says, professionals you can trust. I highly recommend them for any services they offer. Yep. And ETE's people really will go over and above for you, especially when parts aren't immediately available. Aaron needed a new transmission and says, I was told 10 days, but they got it done in 4. They had one on hand. Well, I should hope so. Engine and Transmission Exchange also has a huge factory business that rebuilds transmissions back to factory specs or better and then ships them across the entire country. Vince and his team have great connections. They can find your parts. You simply can't put a price on the sort of experience, honesty, and integrity you'll encounter at ETE. All of your work is done by ASC certified technicians, and they'll only do what needs to be done, and they'll do it right. With locations on South 27th Street in Milwaukee and West Avenue in Waukesha, they have easy drop-off and pickup times, and they'll work around your busy schedule. Check out enginetrans.com. Enginetrans.com. It's Engine and Transmission Exchange.
Your home cleaning friend, it's Edelman again. Edelman.
President Trump has announced that conservative megastar Charlie Kirk has passed away at the age of 31 after he was shot at an event where he was speaking in Utah, at Utah Valley University. A single shot rang out as Kirk had just begun a Q&A event in which he invited people who disagreed with him. That was how he rose to fame. I cannot stress that enough. This was a man who went into openly hostile environments on college campuses and didn't scream at the people he disagreed with. He didn't berate them. He didn't make fun of them. He debated them. He wanted discourse. And I think it is a sad reflection of where we are as a country right now that he was shot and killed while doing so today. I encourage all of you, we'll of course continue with our continuing coverage on this, but as we break for the top of the hour news, I encourage you to just hug and kiss those you love. Say a prayer for those 2 beautiful little children who now don't have a father. And we'll be right back.
All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference. Listen to Sean Hannity. Weekday evenings 6 to 9 on News Talk 1130 WISN. Milwaukee. And Make WISN the #1 preset on your car radio and on the new iHeart app. Free never sounded so good.
Good afternoon. I'm Dave Michaels. President Trump says that conservative activist Charlie Kirk is dead after a shooting on a college campus in Utah. It happened earlier today during an outdoor Turning Point rally at Utah Valley University. A suspect is currently not in custody. In both Milwaukee and Wauwatosa, firefighters responded to Timmerman Airport near 91st and Hampton this morning after one of the hangars caught on fire. No aircraft were believed to be damaged. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. The 4 o'clock business report brought to you by the Good Feet store. The Dow down today 220 points. The NASDAQ gained 6 points while the S&P rose 19. Checking the Holiday Automotive of Fond du Lac Sports Scoreboard, the Packers have given wide receiver Christian Watson a 1-year contract extension worth over $13 million that keeps him with the team through the 2026 season. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Dave Michaels on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Here's the latest forecast presented by AdventKnows.com from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Mostly cloudy skies today with a few spotty showers or sprinkles possible, but most areas will remain dry. High temperatures will range from the low to mid 70s with a south wind early, transitioning to the east out of the afternoon. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Lisa Michaels.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Stay connected and stay productive with Rapid Radios. Business owners trust Rapid Radios for instant, reliable team communication with nationwide LTE coverage, push-to-talk convenience, and room for up to 200 units on one feed. Keeping connected's never been easier.
Order now at rapidradios.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I'm Victor Harding, a true trial attorney at Warshevsky Law. You've heard our advertising for years. While it's been effective introducing Warshevsky to injured people in need of maximum judgments and settlements, most of our clients come from personal referral. Referrals from former clients grateful for the settlement or trial judgment Warshevsky won on their behalf. Thus, they're recommending us to friends and family. Referrals from people in the community, including other lawyers and judges who want to make sure their friends and family are taken care of. Still not sure? Ask around. Warshevsky is referred by Wisconsin law enforcement officers who've seen Warshevsky attorneys in action, desperate to make sure friends and family receive just compensation. Insurance adjusters, often our adversaries, refer their family members hurt in accidents. They know the work we do. They all refer Warshevsky because big case or small, we can help. If someone you love is injured, please let them know, because at the end of their ordeal, their injury is about the money. Warshevsky.com.
It's 5 words no one wants to hear. You need a new roof. Oh boy, who do you call? How are you going to pay for it? Hi, it's Jay, and these are all questions that run through people's minds when they hear those 5 words. But if you pick up the phone and call Semperfi Roofing, your new roof will be the easiest, most hassle-free home improvement project you'll do. Semperfi has thousands of 5-star ratings for both customer service and high-quality installation. Plus, they offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. 50 years. Also, since no one wants to pay these high interest rates, for a limited time, Semperfi is offering 5-year no-interest financing with minimum monthly payments for qualified buyers. So if you need a new roof, don't stress. Semperfi Roofing has got your back. It all starts with a free 21-point roof inspection to assess the exact condition of your roof and what needs to be done next. Set up your inspection today. 262-600-2910. That's 600-2910. Or go online to semperfiroofing.com.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi.
People should be judged for the content of their character, not the straightness of their teeth.
I'm Mila. The gracious, caring staff at Ross Dental makes straight teeth convenient.
Bo, Mila's big brother here. High school social pressure can make students want to be invisible. Ross Dental straight teeth are confidence building.
With Ross Dental straight teeth, you and your children will smile like you just don't care because you don't.
Dr. Ross did imaging and ordered virtually invisible plastic trays that fit over our teeth, shifting them ever so slightly.
Every 5 days or so, we start new trays that shift teeth a little more.
Unlike conventional braces, we can take the trays off to eat and brush our teeth, and they cost less.
A bonus for me is clicking and my jaw stopped.
Dr. Ross is a great dentist, and Dad says Ross Dental is the best deal.
Family dentistry, cosmetic whitening, Ross Dental straight smiles, and full sedation dentistry. For anxious patients needing substantial restoration. Our mission, your comfort, health, and confidence. Smile like you just don't care, because you don't. RossDentalWI.com.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Oh my God. We must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot.
As soon as that shot went out, he fell back into his left.
Shots rang out as Charlie was talking about transgender mass shootings.
And I just hope and pray that somehow, some way, he survives this.
And sadly, according to President Trump, he did not. President Trump posting on Truth Social about 15 minutes ago, Charlie Kirk has passed away at the age of 31. He was assassinated, cut down by an assassin's bullet at Utah Valley University, where he was speaking. He was holding a debate. It was the first stop of a planned tour of the United States with his organization Turning Point Action. Here's Fox News reporter Jonathan Hunt.
At about 12:20 local time, Charlie Kirk was sitting underneath a small tent in an outdoor area of the campus, a sort of amphitheater, buildings facing him about 100 to 200 yards away. He was addressing a crowd that looked to be up to a couple of thousand strong. He had been handing out baseball caps, smiling with the crowd, talking to those who had come to eagerly see him and listen to his words. And then in video we have seen, but are not showing for very obvious reasons, you hear as after Charlie Kirk sits down behind a desk underneath that small tent, you hear a single shot ring out. It appears to be from some sort of high-powered rifle, clearly shot from a distance. And then in one particularly gruesome video, you can see the bullet strike Charlie Kirk. It appears to hit him directly in the neck. You see a gush of blood, and then obviously, as you can imagine, the crowd running in every direction, absolutely terrified. We have seen pictures of Charlie Kirk then being carried away by people to be who appear to be security guards, not in uniform.
President Trump posting on his Truth Social account, again about 15 to 20 minutes ago, the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. The Republican National Committee has just put out a statement as well. Chairman Joe Gruters released the following statement on the shooting that took the life of conservative leader Charlie Kirk. This just in about a minute and a half ago. Charlie Kirk was a father, husband, and dedicated patriot who spent his life defending conservative values and inspiring young Americans. Our hearts break for his wife, children, loved ones, and countless supporters across the country. The horrifying violence at Utah Valley University that took the life of Charlie Kirk is utterly appalling. Republicans and Democrats alike must stand united in condemning this brutality that has no place in America. We have not yet gotten a statement from the family or from Turning Point itself. As you can imagine, all of this, folks, took place within the last 2.5 hours. At 12:20 Utah time, that is Mountain Time, that would be 1:20 our time, word started to circulate. And folks, this is the era that we live in, that this was captured probably by 1,000 different cameras. You know, it's foreign to us that the Kennedy assassination was captured by just one film, the Zapruder film. There was only one person who was videotaping. The Charlie Kirk assassination, and folks, please make no mistake. And I had a number of people saying, hey, Dan, don't say he passed away. He was assassinated. And yes, make no mistake, this was an assassination. This was almost certainly a targeted assassination by someone on the political left, of the political left, who had vaguely political left-leaning beliefs. This was an assassination, just like the assassination of the CEO of United Healthcare in December. What happened after that, folks? What happened? Killer's name is Luigi Mangione. He's been deified by the American left, deified. He's a hero. The shooting happened right before Christmas. Very popular Christmas present was Luigi from Super Mario hats in support of a political assassin. That's disgusting to me. As I said, within the first few minutes of the news coming out that Charlie Kirk had been shot, Katie Tur, anchoring breaking news coverage on MSNBC, made sure to point out that Kirk is a divisive figure, and he's just a person who, it wasn't stated, but the implication is probably had it coming.
Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure, polarizing, lightning rod, whatever term you want to use.
She then tossed it to a guest whose name I did not catch and said he speculated that Kirk might have been hit by a supporter of his firing his gun in celebration.
We don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea.
Yeah, we have no idea. But we're just going to posit that it might have been a supporter shooting his gun off in celebration that killed his hero, because that's just who these idiot redneck conservatives are. As if that wasn't enough, Tur goes back on the air after a commercial break or after talking to a guest, and she says that, well, the administration is the Trump administration is going to seize on this shooting to do something undoubtedly authoritarian.
After one of the Doge employees was allegedly attacked in Washington, D.C., that's what Donald Trump used as a justification to send in federal troops into Washington, D.C. to get things under control. The carjacking situation, he used that. And I know it's hard to predict the future, Mark, but you can imagine the administration using this as a justification for something.
President Trump now has just ordered all American flags to half-staff until Sunday evening in memory of Charlie Kirk. He posted on Truth Social 5 minutes ago, in honor of Charlie Kirk, a truly great American patriot, I am ordering all American flags throughout the United States lowered to half-mast until Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Yep, and that's the very latest that we have right now. Charlie Kirk, according to President Trump, and that is the only place I have seen it reported that Charlie has died. He is the president of the United States. Obviously, he would be informed very quickly. I know, producer Eric, they're all, he's pointing to Fox News, that they're going with it too. The source is the president. And, I would think with every federal law enforcement agent in the country reporting to him, he would probably know. Sources tell both the Deseret News as well as justthenews.com, who is the website owned by our friend John Solomon, great investigative reporter. He's been around forever. They both confirm that the shooter is still on the loose, that the man who was taken into custody, who was detained at this Kirk event, apparently is just and I will use a quote from someone. Oh, actually, a local kook. We have Washington, D.C. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro. She is on Fox News. Let's dip into our partner coverage at Fox News. Let's hear U.S. Attorney Jeanine.
Voice for a generation. Someone who literally could turn out young people and change an election. He was a passionate voice for conservative values, and he empowered young people. And he used this Prove Me Wrong tour to spark open debate on campuses across the country. His work inspired millions of young people, and he will leave a legacy of challenging ideas and fighting for what he believed in. Today, and I'm brokenhearted as I look at his photos. I mean, right now we have lost a true warrior for freedom and open discourse. And Charlie wasn't just a commentator or an activist. He was, and I think Greg may have said this, and I agree, he was a force of nature. He built Turning Point USA from the ground up, and he gave young conservatives a platform in a world that often tried to silence them on university campuses, preventing them from saying what they believed, getting people to write papers that they didn't agree with just to get a good grade. His movement embodied everything that he believed in. He invited the tough questions, and he debated ideas head on, and he proved what we've always known, but so few people use it. He proved that truth wins when it's tested. That's what Charlie Kirk did. And look, I knew that he was a bold voice many years ago and a man of deep conviction. And I got to tell you, Dana, you're right. I mean, his belief in family, his marrying Erica, his 2 children, his unwavering loyalty to his friends. I mean, he leaves behind an incredible legacy, a movement that will only become stronger because of this young man who made a decision to take a different course. He created it, and he had all of us following him. And, you know, they talk about, you know, fascism and all that. The ones that are trying to silence the dialogue, they're the ones who are the true fascists. And what I know of Charlie is that he would want us to keep fighting. He would want us to keep fighting with words, to build a debate, to prove our doubters wrong. And in the end, Charlie proved us all right about what matters. And what we need to tell Charlie is that we will continue to carry the torch that he created on the road that he took, because this is a man who will be legendary. He changed. As far as I'm concerned, he changed an election because he was strong and he believed in young people.
That is U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., Jeanine Pirro, better known as Judge Jeanine, talking with The Five live on Fox News. There, Charlie Kirk dead at the age of 31. Both President Trump as well as Real America's Voice, which aired his radio show and simulcasted as a TV show on Real America's Voice, also confirming that Charlie Kirk has died at the age of 31. Just within the last 10 minutes, President Trump ordered the nation's flags lowered to half staff. Folks, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, I think we're going to open up the phone lines and allow you to weigh in There is a lot to process here, and it is not lost on me that Charlie Kirk was targeted. He was hunted, just as President Trump was hunted, just as Steve Scalise and the other Republicans practicing for the congressional baseball game in 2017 were hunted, just as the CEO of United Healthcare was hunted. He died. Charlie Kirk died. By a couple of miracles, Scalise and everyone else on that field survived. President Trump survived. But there is one common denominator. That's left-wing violence. Folks, we were plagued by it in the 1960s and 1970s. I know there are a million conspiracy theories surrounding the John F. Kennedy assassination, but the Kennedy files and all available evidence proves he was killed by a deranged communist. His brother killed by someone who is at least tangentially involved in left-wing politics. The 1970s, we saw the era of left-wing terrorism, the Weather Underground, the Sterling Hall bombing in Madison. President Ronald Reagan shot, very nearly assassinated. Within months, there was an attempted assassination of President Gerald Ford. Republican, Republican, Republican. All targets, all targeted by left-wing psychopaths for whom now 50 years have proven that violence is an acceptable political strategy. That if you can't win a debate with Charlie Kirk, assassinate him in the middle of his answer. This isn't a both sides issue. Well, Dan, January 6th, give me an effing break. January 6th was a riot. Do we need to talk about the entire summer of riots? One of which in Kenosha left it in ruins. How about we talk with Tim Carpenter, state senator from Wisconsin, from the Milwaukee area. He happens to be at the Capitol when one of those George Floyd riots is taking place. He's beaten to within an inch of his life. Guess what happened to the two insane leftist psychopaths? Madison juries acquitted them of all criminal wrongdoing. I want you to name me an example of right-wing political violence in this country in the last 20 years. I'll wait. Truly, I'll wait. Oh, the kidnapping plot against Michigan's governor, Gretchen Whitmer, that was basically steered by FBI agents. Come on. Name a Democrat left-wing figure. Not only that, we have an attempt to quite literally jail the political opposition. Not one, not two, not three, 4 separate criminal cases against Donald Trump in an election year designed to not allow him to run for president. Folks, at some point, we have to have a very serious discussion about how in the name of being, and this is the most galling thing of all, it truly is, in the name of being the good, caring, compassionate people. Donald Trump could very easily be dead if he doesn't turn his head at the exact right moment to look at that chart drawn up by Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. He's dead. He is dead. There is no President Trump. Biden probably wins a second term because the Republicans would not be able to mount a campaign. You would not be able to use President Trump's campaign cash. They would have had to have mounted a presidential campaign in a little more than 100 days. We would have had that Biden doesn't drop out. We would still have Joe Biden, who very clearly is severely cognitively impaired. He'd be the president right now. Trump would be dead. Now, what I want you to do, in case you're wondering how the left is taking this, go on Blue Sky. Remember forever when they shut down any speech if you would be thrown off social media for questioning whether we should be masking 3-year-olds as they're being, barred from their classrooms? The White House right now is lowering its flag to half staff. Fox News cameras picking that up in memory of Charlie Kirk, who passed away. Do you remember when right-wing figures, conservatives, anybody who dared to say, hey, it's a little weird that Barack Obama, who's the most popular Democrat in history, gets 69 million votes and Joe Biden gets 81 million? Doesn't that seem a little odd? We should maybe look into that a little closer. Nope, shut down. Hey, these masks don't seem to be stopping COVID-19. Shut down. Do you remember how liberals told conservatives, well, if you hate it, why don't you build your own Twitter? 2022, Elon Musk buys Twitter, changes it to X. Liberals, of course, can't stand the fact that there's now free speech on this platform. They start their own, ironically needing to heed their own advice. You don't like X, build your own X. It's called Blue Sky. Go there right now and see what they're saying. You'll be disgusted. You'll be angry. You need to see it. You need to see it. They're celebrating. They're laughing. They're joking because someone is dead. They did the exact same thing with the poor United Healthcare CEO. They lifted up his killer as some great class warrior. They did the same thing when Rush Limbaugh died. They did the same thing when Antonin Scalia died, when Margaret Thatcher died, when Ronald Reagan died. Whenever a Republican or a conservative dies, they do the same damn thing. They celebrate. And do you know what we get from a man who I guess I respect, a man who I swore I would never use this show to bash, even though he went full-on leftist? Charlie Sykes. This is the best we get from Charlie Sykes an hour ago. Quote, this is on X. The online ghouls who are celebrating and or justifying the shooting of Charlie Kirk have no idea how much damage they're doing. So he's more concerned about appearances, not that, oh, well, a young man has died, but that, hey, you're setting the cause back. This is going to look really bad for us. Then how about this? Matthew Dowd, within minutes of Charlie Kirk being shot, says, well, he engages in a lot of hate speech, so it's no real surprise he'd be the victim of a hateful act.
He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
Yeah, really, he had it coming. That if you can say that as a man lies, and it was, folks, very clear. He was, I struggled with this the entire last hour. It was, I did not believe that the close-up video of Charlie being shot was AI. I mean, it did look like a lot of blood. Then when witness accounts from people who were right there in the front row described the exact same thing, I said, there's just no way anybody survives this. There just isn't. As that man lay dying, you got people going, not in the darkest corners of Blue Sky, but on MSNBC to say, yeah, you know what? He totally had this coming. Hate speech begets hateful actions, and sometimes hateful actions can be deadly. I don't. And then And then to have the anchor of MSNBC's coverage say, well, Trump is probably going to use this to criminalize political opposition.
After one of the Doge employees was allegedly attacked in Washington, D.C., that's what Donald Trump used as a justification to send in federal troops into Washington, D.C. to get things under control. The carjacking situation, he used that. And I know it's hard to predict the future, Mark, but you can imagine the administration using this as a justification for something.
Oh, yes. They're going to use it. What could they justify? What are they going to This is sick. It's honest to God sick. And quite frankly, we have long passed the Rubicon of civil discourse in this country. This man was, you want to hear some civil discourse in this country? This man was engaged in it right now. He has an open microphone on a college campus, and he's taking questions from the audience.
So do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens when you try to engage in civil discourse. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Was he saying something so hateful there that he needed to be killed in the middle of his the middle of his sentence by the people who stand for all that's right and good, and oh my goodness, we love democracy, we stand for democracy. That was democracy in its purest form. This was like the Greek Forum. This is an open debate, and he's killed in the middle of it. Do I need to draw you a diagram for the symbolism of that? Like I said in the first hour, folks, I don't want this to be a rallying cry. I want this to be a moment that changes this country, because quite frankly, it should. All right, I'll tell you what. We're going to step aside for a break. I'm going to compose myself a little bit. And we'll be back. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. We're going to check in with our news guy, Dave Michaels.
From the Lynch GM Superstore in Burlington Total Traffic Center.
Got a couple crashes in Brookfield with crews on the scene. Pilgrim and Luella Drive, another 124th and North Avenue. Southbound on 4145 going to be heavy from Appleton down to Capitol. Northbound is jammed from Mayfair to Hampton. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
Homeowners, have you been waiting to renovate or pay down debt? Mortgage rates have been dropping, so it may be time to tap into your home's equity. Get started at rocketmortgage.com. Call 800-863-4332 for cost information and conditions. Rocket Mortgage LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Streaming live only on Hulu.
Limited tickets still available at AXS.com.
Get yours while you still can.
Lenovo and the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Tech that hits different. Can your gear keep up with the beat? Lenovo PCs are built for creators, dreamers, and fans who don't hit pause. Visit Lenovo.com for the latest in AI PCs and game-changing tech.
Want to go hunting but not sure how to get started? The Wisconsin DNR has you covered. Before you buy that Blaze Orange, visit dnr.wi.gov. You'll find everything you need to get started with Wisconsin's other favorite fall sport, including hands-on hunting classes, license info, and more. Go wild in Wisconsin and join the hunt today at dnr.wi.gov. Brought to you by the Wisconsin DNR.
Dan O'Donnell here for my good friends at Mander Collision and Glass, the only place I've trusted my vehicles with for years now. Their customer service is impeccable, and their workmanship is so good, they guarantee it for life. But don't just take my word for it. Here's a 5-star review from Alana. Mander was amazing. From Noel at the front desk to Nikki, who helped coordinate my insurance and repairs, I could not have had a better experience. My 2021 Subaru Forester looks brand new. I honestly don't think I've had this great of a customer service experience in my life. I'll refer anyone and everyone to Mander if they ever find themselves in a bind. Thank you so much. No, thank you, Alana, for helping me spread the word about just how great Mander is. Wherever you are in the greater Milwaukee and Waukesha area, there's a service center near you. So start your repair now at mandercollision.com.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
Make News Talk 1130 WISN your #1 preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
Welcome back. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show. Back in May, I wrote a column for the McIver Institute in which I talked about the very real problem of left-wing violence. It seems like, and I had forgotten about this one, folks, the young couple killed outside the Jewish Museum. It seems like no one wants to confront it, but we have a major left-wing violence problem in this country. When a radical socialist shot and killed a young couple who worked for the Israeli embassy outside a Jewish museum function, he screamed, "Free, free Palestine," a slogan that has been commonplace on campus demonstrations and anti-Semitic assaults alike for more than 2 years now. The gunman, a self-identified member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, traveled all the way from Chicago with apparent intent of committing an act of terror against any Jewish people he could find. Such anti-Semitism on the far left is now tragically routine. A little more than a month before that double murder, another radicalized leftist attempted to kill America's most prominent Jewish governor, Josh Shapiro, and his family in an arson attack on the Pennsylvania governor's mansion. This came less than a year after 2 attempted assassinations of President Trump, including one that came within just a few millimeters of succeeding, and less than 6 months after the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The reaction to that assassination, both by an online army of leftists and some of the most prominent leaders in the movement, helps to explain why such heinous violence seems to be on the rise. Because it's not only tolerated on the left, it's practically encouraged. Take Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. She was careful to say that she doesn't encourage violence, but that when people are frustrated over denied health care claims and poor coverage, it's only natural that they take matters into their own hands. We'll say it over and over. Violence is never the answer, she said. This guy gets a trial who's allegedly killed the CEO of United Health, but you can only push people so far, and then they start to take matters into their own hands. In other words, she doesn't condone the murder, but she understands it. Socialist Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was even more direct, saying United Healthcare denying claims was an act of violence against the people, so it was only natural that the people would resort to violence against United Healthcare. I think for anyone who is confused or shocked or appalled, she said, they need to understand that people interpret and feel and experience denied claims as an act of violence against them. People go homeless over the financial devastation of a diagnosis that doesn't get addressed, or, the amount that they're going to have to cover with a surprise bill and things like that. And when we kind of talk about how systems are violent in this country in this passive way, our privatized healthcare system is like that. that for a huge amount of Americans, end quote. How is a rational person supposed to interpret that? More importantly, how is an irrational, criminally insane person supposed to interpret that? As a justification for resistance, for violence, even for murder. The left may pay lip service to the idea that such action can never be condoned, but it's frequently considered to be warranted. And that's a big reason why it seems to be increasing. That was a column I wrote in May following a double murder of a young couple that was about to be engaged to be married outside of the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. Deranged leftist drove all the way to Chicago. Today, Charlie Kirk, one of the most prominent voices in the last decade of conservatism, was shot and killed simply for daring to host a debate in a conservative area on a relatively conservative campus. I mean, there are thousands of people. That's a campus of 40,000, but whenever Charlie would go to a university to speak, he would draw thousands of people, and every single time, he would have the opportunity for people to debate him, to ask him any question they wanted, to talk about any issue they chose. We do it here on the Dan O'Donnell Show, too. I say, if you disagree with me and you want to debate, we will put you right on the air. Now, if I'm doing an investigative or exclusive report or something like that, or there's breaking news today, I can't debate you on, the environment. Do you know how many times I have been taken up on that in a decade almost of doing this radio show? In the afternoon, before that in mid-mornings. Maybe 5. Maybe. Can we discuss? Can we debate? Just how about this? Just recently, just 4 days ago, I post a clip of the mayor of Milwaukee, Cavalier Johnson, in his own words, saying something phenomenally stupid about how we can stop street takeovers in Milwaukee if we just partner with the federal government on affordable housing. He accuses me of only being divisive and not posting his full remarks, even though the context of what he was talking about was very clear. I posted everything he said in the context of what will specifically stop street takeovers. And he accused me of being a divisive force. Do you know what he did with his comments on that X post? He locked them. He wouldn't allow any debate. He wouldn't allow me to respond. He wouldn't allow, no debate. We have gotten so, and do you know why that is? Because I'm just so hateful, because I'm just so divisive, because I'm a Nazi. What do you think when you say something like that about Charlie Kirk or me? Now, most people, most sane, rational people will laugh it off and say, okay, that's just insane, overheated rhetoric. Dan O'Donnell literally isn't a Nazi. He's not a fascist. Charlie Kirk does not want to enslave Black Americans. You remember that one? Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden. We want to unchain the economy, talking about Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, two of the most milquetoast Republicans to have ever lived. He said they want to put y'all back in chains. He said they want to enslave Black Americans. That was 13, 14 years ago. Now, it's a matter of course. Do we still have 2 breaks in this? Oh boy. Okay. I knew I was going. My producer is frantically signaling that we need to go to break. I'm going to continue this in just a second. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Got a couple crashes in Brookfield with crews on the scene. Pilgrim and Luella Drive, another 124th and North Avenue. Southbound on 4145 going to be heavy from Appleton down to Capitol. Northbound is jammed from Mayfair to Hampton. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
Homeowners, have you been waiting to renovate or pay down debt? Mortgage rates have been dropping, so it may be time to tap into your home's equity. Get started at rocketmortgage.com. Call 800-863-4332 for cost information and conditions. Rocket Mortgage LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Water running back to your foundation due to settling concrete can lead to extremely expensive foundation repairs. Even mold and bacteria in your home.
MudTech, 262-337-0934.
Puts existing concrete back to grade, keeping water away from your foundation for a fraction of patio or driveway replacement cost.
MudTech, 262-337-0934.
For a free estimate today.
MudTech, 262-337-0934.
Permanently fixes asphalt with state-of-the-art technology. Uneven sagging stairs and walkways are easily evened out for less than you are guessing with M to the U to the D to the T to the E to the C to the H.
262-337-0934.
The cost of having southeastern Wisconsin's premier concrete releveling and asphalt repair technicians at MudTech.
262-337-0934.
Restore your paved surfaces today is a fraction of the cost of replacement tomorrow. Call right now.
262-337-0934.
MudTechWorks.com.
Bob from Redefined Realty here. I'd written my own ads for 20 years.
Creative genius.
Here. Same. Well, Inet's ads and 100 other businesses' ads. Writing your own ads, you kind of get stuck repeating the same message. Different words, but the same perspective. Before introducing Easy Home Bidder, Bob came to Inet to brand his brainchild, MLS Listing backed by Auction. It's brilliant. MLS guarantees the home is found. Auction guarantees the highest sale price. Period. Inet branded it, wrote our story, knocked our marketing out of the park. When you think of selling your home, you know MLS and Auction together is the right choice. Redefined also benefits from unparalleled radio buying power, industry influence, and extracurricular enhancement of being part of the Inet community. More than 1,000 businesses working together for each other's successes. Websites, branding, design, video, and radio. Inet is improving the economy one business at a time. InetJustWeb.com. CreativeGeniusMarketing.com. Buyers, sellers, real estate for winners. RedefinedRealty.com.
What's better than cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand? Cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand that you got for 10% off. And when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank, you get even more. Like 10% off food and 10% off drinks on game day. Like that ice-cold beer in your hand. Plus 15% off Pro Shop gear. Only with Packers checking. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
For superior carpet cleaning, hire a company with over 75 years of experience that will get the job done right the first time. Always clean, always on time. Edelman.
Edelman Carpet, Furniture, and Drapery Cleaning.
It's Edelman again. Edelman.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Hi, I'm Willa Voss. I'm 8 years old. Mom and Dad own Cut and Go Tree Service. Yes, they did name me after a tree. Our family loves this country and the freedom it provides. Every morning, I look forward to starting the school day with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please say it along with me, even if you just say it in your mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. American patriots will enjoy a 5% discount for flying the American flag and mentioning this commercial when the Cut and Go remote control, automobile mounted, articulated crane, grapple saw operators are putting your dead trees on the ground or removing large branches that grew over something important. An all-American Tons of Trees movement, cutandgotrees.com. That's CUTNGOTREES.com.
Your great
great at protecting your own personal information. You probably even use things like two-factor authentication, strong passwords, VPN. But as much as you try to be in control of how your information is protected, there's lots of places that also have it. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every single second for identity threats. If your identity is stolen, a LifeLock specialist is going to help solve the identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% off your first year with a promo code Beck at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Injured? Call Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Business owners, want to sell your business? At Lake Country Advisors, our team will meet with you face-to-face and will answer all your questions confidentially. Visit LakeCountryAdvisors.com and schedule a free consultation. Local, experienced, and trusted. We are Lake Country Advisors.
I'm Dan, he's Ty.
Hello.
And we're the Solid Verbal College Football Podcast.
Tune in for previews, recaps, bits you won't hear anywhere else, and all the emotional support you need as a college football fan.
Join us all season long as we ride the roller coaster of this ridiculous sport.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search the Solid Verbal College Football Podcast, and listen now.
We don't just love college football, Ty. We live it.
A statement just posted by the official Turning Point USA X account. It is with a heavy heart that we confirm that Charles James Kirk has been murdered by a gunshot that took place during Turning Point USA's The American Comeback Tour campus event at Utah Valley University on September 10th, 2025. May he be received into the merciful arms of our loving Savior who suffered and died for Charlie. We ask that everyone keep his family and loved ones in your prayers. We ask that you please respect their privacy and dignity at this time. In 9 minutes, officials in Utah are going to give an update on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We, because of our obligations to multiple radio stations, we do need to continue to stay on the clock. We would just, if we were to dip into that right at the top of the hour, it would just be very, very difficult. So we are going to join that in progress. Oftentimes, those do start late. I did just get this text from loyal listeners Steve and Carolyn. Sad day, Dan. We are on our way to Arches National Park in Utah. We drove past Utah Valley University at about 12:20 local time. The university is right off I-15. Minutes after driving by, we saw no less than 40 police cars, red lights and sirens racing toward the university. Our hearts are heavy. My husband and I are big Charlie Kirk fans. Keep up your great work. We were on your Alaska cruise. Steve and Carolyn. Got another text which posits an interesting point. This is probably the same level of importance as the MLK assassination. There isn't the racial issue, political issue. Charlie Kirk was assassinated for his political beliefs. I mean, absent any compelling evidence that was not the motive, it's rather obviously the motive. Now, during that last commercial break, I was actually talking with a source who I don't want to do too much to identify this person, but was with the Secret Service. He has some very interesting thoughts on the type of gun that would be capable of making that shot, if indeed it did come, as the university's initial statement indicated, from a building 200 yards away, that this was someone who is well trained. What was the basic idea here? That this was somebody who knew exactly what they were doing, and that the target of this shot was not actually the head, but rather the neck. And if you think about that, it makes a lot of sense. What do you typically do when you're talking? I mean, for those of you watching us on the Dano cam, you can see me. You bob your head, you move. Your neck stays far more stable. It's more at a fixed point, I should say. That would be the focal point. It would be a steady target for an assassin. It was a fascinating theory. We don't know that the shooter is still on the loose, as unbelievable as that is. Hopefully we will get an announcement coming up in about 5 minutes that the shooter is in custody. Maybe we'll know more, but for now, all we can say is that it is one of the sadder days in American history. Charlie Kirk assassinated at the age of 31. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show, and we will be right back.
From the Lynch Chevrolet of Kenosha Total Traffic Center.
Westbound 894 jam from 84th to 92nd, where you got a crash off to the right shoulder. Southbound 894 slow most of the way from the zoo to the Hale interchange. Police with an accident at 68th and Fond du Lac. I'm Kevin Henry, and that's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by First Choice Heating and Cooling. 0 payments, 0 interest for 18 months. First Choice Heating makes new HVAC affordable. No credit hassles, no minimums on select equipment. Call First Choice now. Your comfort can't wait. First Choice Heating and Cooling.
The only agent I trust here in Milwaukee is Justin Hoffman with RE/MAX Lakeside. Hey, Sean Hannity here. You know, I've bought and sold real estate around our great country for many, many years now. I have learned that you get the most money selling your home when you work with a trusted local real estate agent who has a proven track record. Justin spends thousands of dollars every month to attract thousands of buyers. We have all driven around our neighborhoods. We see for sale signs in people's yards. You see them there for months on end. If you don't want to be that neighbor, well, get your home sold fast and for more money. Now, don't take one of those quick cash offers from an out-of-town company. You will lose thousands in fees and equity. Get a local expert who can advise you, get eyes on your home, and who wants to help you get the most out of your largest investment. Just go to wihomeeval.com. That's wihomeeval.com. Or just Google Team Hoffman and check out over 700 5-star reviews. And then you can start packing.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com.
Hi, it's Roman Whittaker at Five Corners announcing the biggest savings event ever. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months on new Ram truck, or get $13,000 off and 3.9% for 72 months. Drive a new Jeep Grand Cherokee and get $7,500 off with rebates and discounts. New Chrysler Pacifica, yes, $5,000 off at Five Corners. Take home the big savings today. Need your vehicle service right? You can count on our outstanding certified service technicians with 40 service bays. Drive into fall event at Five Corners Dodge, Chrysler Jeep and Ram truck, Highway 60 Cedarburg. Financing is to approved credit and subject to down payment. Incentives are on select models.
Save big money in your next painting project right now at Menards. Give your room a grand finish with Pittsburgh Grand Distinction Interior Paint. It's a premium paint and primer with a tough, resilient finish that's scrubbable and stain resistant. Save big today on Pittsburgh Paint, in store and on Menards.com. Plus, don't forget to check out our weekly flyer to find all of our other great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
It's one of the hottest topics when it comes to finance and your money. The One Big Beautiful Bill. If you haven't read it, we don't blame you. It's 900 pages with 400 just for tax provisions. Not exactly light reading. You know who has read it? Annex Wealth Management. That's where Instant Insight webinars come in. They're designed to provide clarity for today's hot topics. Get up to speed fast. Check out the full Instant Insight schedule at annexwealth.com/events. Unbiased advice from a fee-only fiduciary. Find out more at annexwealth.com.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you across the greater Milwaukee area. Start your repair right now at mandercollision.com. Mander truly is the best decision after a collision.
Some things are easier said than done, like packing your carry-on and getting everything to fit. Whew. Other things are easier done than said, like getting $350 cash back when you open a new TrueStone checking account, so you can bag back some cash back to stash in your backpack. Hard to say, but easy to do, because our digital switch kit makes setting up your new TrueStone checking account practically effortless. Easy and $350? It's true, because we're TrueStone. Open by December 31st, and within 60 days, set up a $5,000 direct deposit and e-statements. Membership required.
When starting a new home project, the first step is the hardest to take. Hi, Colleen here with Tri-County Contracting. And with Tri-County Contracting, the first step is super easy. Go to tricountycontractingwi.com. You can fill out a short form requesting a free estimate. Amanda will give you a call and schedule a no-pressure appointment with you. Whether it's roofing, siding, windows, or all of the above, we have you covered. If you are looking for an even faster roof price, we also have our instant roof quote button. Name, address, and email address, and you have your price on the spot. Easy first step. Then, all the steps after that, we'll take care of those for you. Getting you an easy-to-read, clear proposal quickly comes next. Then we can help you pick colors using our showroom or project map on our website. We pull the permits, we take care of materials and disposal. Our trained and specialized crews and project managers take care of all the install and cleanup. For you, it's as easy as one step, and that step is easy. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting.
Your home cleaning friend. It's Edelman again. Edelman.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference. Listen to Benjamin Yount, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on News Talk 1130 WISN Milwaukee. And make WISN the #1 preset on your car radio and on the new iHeart app. Free never sounded so good.
Good afternoon. I'm Dave Michaels. Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk is dead after being shot at Utah Valley University. Joey Gallegos was a witness to the shooting. He was on the Will Cain Show on Fox News, describing what he saw and heard.
The debater who was debating asked them about transgender gun violence or something, and then and that's when I heard I was reporting it, and then I heard the loud bang, which I can only imagine was a gunshot because everyone immediately dropped to the floor.
Charlie Kirk was 31 years old. The search for a suspect is ongoing. Now that Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley has announced his candidacy for governor of Wisconsin, he's picking up some local endorsements. Here's Fox 6's Jason Calvi.
Mayor Cavalier Johnson plans to endorse his friend for governor, David Crowley. Tonight, Johnson will back Crowley in Milwaukee. And it won't just be Johnson. Also endorsing Crowley tonight will be Milwaukee Common Council President Jose Perez and County Board Chairwoman Nicholson.
Law enforcement officials say they're facing challenges in both recruitment and retention in Wisconsin. Milwaukee County Sheriff Danita Ball says some new hires just don't stick around.
Typically, within the first 3 years, we see a number of people who will leave.
And in Madison, Assembly Republicans have introduced legislation that would offer financial incentives for school districts that would voluntarily consolidate. Pleasant Prairie State Rep Amanda Nedweski says as enrollment numbers decline, schools will be facing even more difficult decisions.
Our goal is to provide support and give tools, remove barriers, and create incentives for voluntary consolidation so that schools can find efficiencies and communities can stop the cycle of referendums.
Checking the Holiday Automotive of Fond du Lac Sports Scoreboard, Packers are 3.5-point favorites in their game tomorrow night against the Commanders at Lambeau Field. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Dave Michaels on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Here's the latest forecast presented by AdventKnows.com from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Becoming partly cloudy tonight. Temperatures in the 60s this evening. Patchy fog overnight as we drop into the 50s. Partly sunny on Thursday. A high of 75 inland, 69 along the lakeshore. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Tom Walks.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Stay connected when it matters most. Be prepared with Rapid Radio's walkie-talkies. With instant push-to-talk and LTE nationwide coverage, you can reach family and friends in any emergency. 100% private, no contracts, no hassle.
Stay safe. Order now at rapidradios.com.
We're the Libby family.
At Do-It-Yourself Bathroom Center near State Fair on 62nd and Greenfield.
For over 41 years, we've helped Wisconsin folks create beautiful, affordable, and durable bathrooms.
You'll get our expert guidance and long-lasting
trusting quality products.
And nobody beats our prices.
I did it myself at Do It Yourself.
Josh from Infinity here. The exterior remodeling industry is notorious for wild price disparities and hidden costs. Infinity has revolutionized the exterior remodeling experience. Our custom-built app is your window into our world of clear, accurate pricing.
MJ here. No more guesswork. No more unpleasant surprises. Every detail, all materials are clear for you to see. Absolute pricing transparency makes Infinity the most trusted roofing and exterior remodeling company in the Midwest.
We built Infinity on a foundation of integrity. More than installing roofs, siding, and windows, Infinity installs peace of mind, building lifelong relationships with our customers.
Infinity's proprietary app is an extension of our commitment, providing exact line item pricing, something unheard of in roofing and exterior remodeling.
Infinity's unmatched buying power saves you money. We pay less, you pay less. Infinity provides multiple budget options real time. Everything is at your fingertips, including financing options before we leave your home.
Warranted, guaranteed quality, installing peace of mind. InfinityRoofing.com.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced from people you can trust on News Talk 1130 WISN.
Nominate your favorite local public school teacher in the iHeartRadio Thank a Teacher powered by Donors Choose program. They'll be entered in a random drawing to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. Go-Wall Investment Group, now Creative Planning, is a registered investment advisor. Now for your business report from Creative Planning. For informational purposes only, past performance is not indicative of future results.
Good evening. This is Certified Financial Planner Chauncey Wisensell with your evening business report. The major averages were mixed today amid Oracle's revenue forecast and a reading on wholesale prices. The latest producer price index shows an unexpected decline as wholesale prices fell by 0.1%, bolstering the case for the Federal Reserve to do a rate cut next week. Elsewhere, shares of Oracle were up 36% at the close after the company reported that multi-cloud database revenue from Amazon, Google, and Microsoft grew at a rate of 1,529% in its last quarter. At the close, the Dow was down 220 points to 45,490. The NASDAQ was up 6 points, and the S&P was up 19 points. From Creative Planning, I'm Chauncey Wisensell.
Counting or not counting game finals?
Oh my God. We must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot.
As soon as that shot went out, he fell back into his left.
Shots rang out as Charlie was talking about transgender mass shootings.
And I just hope and pray that somehow, some way, he survives this.
Unfortunately, he did not. Charlie Kirk has died at the age of 31, cut down by an assassin's bullet. The confirmation coming first from the president himself. In a Truth Social post about an hour and a half ago, President Trump confirming with a heavy heart that Charlie Kirk had died, ordering the nation's flags to half-staff until Sunday evening. Then about a half hour ago, Turning Point USA, Kirk's organization, posting this message on X. It is with a heavy heart that we confirm Charles James Kirk has been murdered by a gunshot that took place during Turning Point USA's The American Comeback campus event at Utah Valley University on September 10th, 2025. May he be received into the merciful arms of our loving Savior who suffered and died for Charlie. We ask that everyone keep his family and loved ones in your prayers. We ask that you please respect their privacy and dignity at this time. Democrats on the House of Representatives floor today would not allow a prayer for Charlie Kirk, interrupting a moment of silence called by the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, and people either on the floor or in the gallery started screaming, objecting to the fact that the House had paused to pray for the prominent conservative.
Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. We will join prayer right after this, okay? The chair lays before the House a communication. The House will be in order. Thank you all.
That's who they are, folks. Just remember that. That's who they are. Wouldn't even allow a prayer for someone who had just died because they disagree with him politically. So they're going to scream and swear and carry on so that can't happen. How about this? Democrat governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, heavily implies Charlie Kirk deserved it because of January 6th.
I don't know whether it's political violence because I don't know who did it. I know they seem to have somebody in custody. But I will say that political violence, unfortunately, has been ratcheting up in this country. We saw the shootings, the killings in Minnesota. We've seen other political violence occur in other states. And I would just say it's got to stop. And I think there are people who are fomenting it in this country. I think the president's rhetoric often foments it. We've seen the January 6th rioters who clearly, have tripped a new era of political violence.
So let's see. The guy who was very closely aligned with President Trump was shot and killed a little more than a year after 2 attempted assassinations of President Trump, including one that missed by only a couple of millimeters. And the problem is President Trump. Again, this is who they are. Listen to this, understand it, internalize it, and recognize that it's in the media you consume as well. Here's ABC News correspondent Aaron Katursky very heavily implying Kirk got what was coming to him because his presence on campus today at Utah Valley University was just so controversial and divisive.
Charlie Kirk has been shot during an event at Utah Valley University. The founder of Turning Point USA, a conservative student organization, is known for his outspoken views on politics, culture, religion, often taking his messages to college. Katursky
confirmed to ABC News, Kira, that Charlie Kirk indeed was shot as he was speaking at an outdoor event at Utah Valley University. You're right, his presence there at the university had divided the campus, according to an article in the school paper, where there were people on both sides debating whether he should even be allowed to bring his message, often loyal to the agenda of President Trump, to campus.
This is who they are. I want you to do yourself a favor. You have to do this. It is going to hurt. It is going to make you enraged. Get yourself an account on the website Blue Sky. See what they're saying. Go to TikTok and just type in Charlie Kirk. See how they're celebrating. 31-year-old man shot and killed while attempting to debate with the political left. And they're laughing about it. They're high-fiving over it. They're blaming him. And those are random people. Those are random, sick, diseased souls. What I just played was the floor of the House of Representatives of the United States. Was the governor of one of the largest states in America and was one of the largest news networks in this country. Folks, this is who they are. Stephen L. Miller, very prominent conservative writer, not the Stephen Miller from the Trump White House, just posted, "May an entire generation of college-aged men be red-pilled, and may the Democratic Party never win a national election again because of it." Folks, regardless of where you stand on politics, regardless of what you think about Charlie Kirk or Rachel Maddow or anyone who is a divisive political figure with whom you disagree, Rachel Maddow is not in any danger of being assassinated. Right now, I honestly feel in some small way I might be. Honest to goodness, I am going to be extra careful walking out of the studio today. Understand where we are. And I don't want to hear a single word about Trump's rhetoric causing this. Just in the last year, this is what we have had. The most prominent conservative figure, at least it's probably right now, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Joe Rogan. I would argue for young people, Charlie Kirk is probably the most famous, most prominent conservative, shot and killed today. We had in May a leader from Chicago's socialist movement, the Liberation and Socialist Party of Chicago, drives all the way to Washington, D.C. so he can kill a couple of Jews. Any Jews, doesn't really matter. Hey, there's a bunch of Jews at the Jewish Museum because there's a big Jewish event. He's going to kill two of them, screaming free, free Palestine the entire time. Right before that, you had the attempted assassination by burning down the Pennsylvania governor's mansion of the most prominent Jewish Democrat, governor in America, Josh Shapiro, leftist activist. Socialist psychopath Luigi Mangione drives all the way multiple states, finds out that the CEO of United Healthcare is attending a conference in New York City, waits for him to leave his hotel, shoots him dead in cold blood. Leftists celebrate. We had two different avowed leftists attempt to assassinate Donald Trump. All the while, liberals across the country cheering all of this on. I don't want to hear January 6th, not after an entire summer's worth of riots that were condoned because they supported the right cause of social justice. We have a real problem with left-wing violence in this country, a real problem. We are awaiting an update on the Charlie Kirk assassination from officials in Orem, Utah, and we will bring that to you as soon as it starts. It appears that we have just gotten... That looks like it might be a 2-minute warning. So what we're going to do is keep it here, producer Eric. You know what? Actually, it is a 3-minute break. We're going to take this commercial break right now. And when we come back, hopefully we will be able to go right to that press conference to get the very latest on the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
From the place you want to go, Lynch McGuanago Traffic Center.
Westbound on 894, about 15 minutes from the Mitchell to the Hale, heavy from 27th to 92nd with a crash block in the right lane. Westbound 94 takes you 20 from the Marquette to Moreland. I'm Kevin Henry, and that's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Harwood Place Retirement Living in Wauwatosa, located in the heart of Wauwatosa. Harwood Place Retirement Living's newly renovated apartments and updated pricing are changing the face of how to live your golden years. To learn more or schedule a tour, visit harwoodplace.org.
Our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Streaming live only on Hulu.
Limited tickets still available at AXS.com.
Get yours while you still can.
Escape to poolside paradise at MGM Resorts in Las Vegas. Sip on a refreshing cocktail. Lounge in a luxury cabana. Earn on nonstop fun with MGM Rewards. Book a sizzling summer escape today. Visit MGMRewards.com for details.
This time of year can be tough on a number of areas in your home. This is Dan O'Donnell, and if you're struggling with any electrical issues, I recommend the superheroes at Current Electric. Chuck Smith, a Brookfield Central grad, started Current Electric over 40 years ago. His mission was to serve our community with integrity and quality, and has done that at Current Electric. If you need something as small as an outlet or switch repair or a whole home rewiring, call on the superheroes from Current Electric. Go to callcurrent.com.
Whether you're on a commercial job site or tackling residential projects, support yourself and your crew with the AFS Advantage. AFS Advanced Fastening Supply is locally owned with a complete inventory of all the major brands of tools, fasteners, and safety equipment to make sure your job is done right and on time for all your projects throughout the year. Experience the AFS Advantage today. Advanced Fastening Supply on Doral Road in Waukesha or advancedfasteningsupply.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules. Make News Talk 1130 WISN your number one preset on our free iHeartRadio app, powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Aspire to the perfect blend of information and enlightenment. Stay informed all day, every day on News Talk 1130 WISN.
You ready?
Let's go.
We are awaiting the start of a news conference in which officials in Orem, Utah are going to provide an update on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The conservative megastar was shot and killed during an event at Utah Valley University today. He was shot, according to the university's spokesperson, a vice president, immediately after the incident, with a high-powered rifle from 200 yards away from a building. Now, initially, there was an older gentleman who is described as a, quote, local crank who is taken into custody, who was detained at the scene. That is not the shooter. Officials very quickly said the shooter is not in custody. President Trump, about an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours ago, confirmed in a post on Truth Social that Kirk had died. There was a statement later on from his organization, Turning Point USA, that Charlie Kirk had passed away of the wounds he suffered in that shooting. There was just one shot. And a source, a former Secret Service agent, has texted me the following. Okay. In my personal and very professional opinion, this was a well-organized and well-coordinated assassination. The equipment the guy had is not going to be stuck under a jacket and walked out through a crowd. I built a rifle capable of these shots, but at 200 yards, not any rifle can make that shot, meaning if the target was in fact the throat, he had only a 4-inch target to hit. You need to calculate ammunition, ballistic, drop. There's a ton of technical stuff. If you have a Secret Service counter sniper, he can go into detail. You talk about the capabilities of the rifle, referred to as minutes of angle, its equality and capability of the rifle. A 200-yard shot in a 4-inch group or a 4-inch target is an incredible shot, let alone the type of optics and equipment you would have to make to take that shot if it is in fact 200 yards. It's going to be your AR-15 on the roof like Trump. I believe the clip I've seen on the internet so far was Charlie Kirk sitting on a chair. The shooter would have to know that his center mass up to the neck would be stable. He didn't want to gamble on turning the head as Trump did. And if I was being a professional sniper in that scenario, that would be my target with a quality rifle. So the suspect, it may be a rifle other than an AR-15. They're not the best. Sniper rifles and military rates them only out to 300 yards. High quality rifle will shoot 1 minute of action at 100 yards, meaning it will stay within 1 inch at 100 yards. He is at 200 yards, meaning the capabilities of a good rifle will keep it in 2 inches at 200 yards. And that is under ideal conditions, let alone the scenario of the shooter at the Kirk event. Now, that is getting into extreme detail. This is a retired Secret Service agent who he stressed to me when I talked with him on the phone. He was not a counter sniper, so he knows a great deal about this stuff. But what he is saying is that this is somebody who knew what he was doing. Now, he's not saying that this was a government hit or something like that, but that if this was indeed 200 yards away, if this did indeed come from a building, much like with the assassination of John F. Kennedy, there would need to be some sort of training, some sort of sharpshooting training, as in fact, Lee Harvey Oswald did have before taking that shot from the Texas School Book Depository. It does look like police officers are getting into position at the microphone. We are, as soon as this news conference starts, we are going to take this. And I do want to... Producer Eric, you're going to earn your salary right now. I do want to open things up. We are all feeling the same thing right now, folks. I think as members of Dan Nation, as members of this audience, as members of the conservative community, as decent human beings, we are hurting right now. This was a young father, a husband. He had 2 beautiful young children, a wife who now don't have their dad. And the fact that this was done while he was attempting to engage in civil debate is not lost on me. We're going to open up the phone lines, 414-799-1130 on the adventknows.com talk and text line, 1-800-838-9476. That is our toll-free talk and text line. I will warn you that any calls for revenge, anything that I even begin to interpret as a call for violence or reprisal or anything of that nature, just is not going to be tolerated. Folks, this is not who we are. This is not who America is. And quite frankly, the fact that a significant swath of people have devolved into this is disgusting to me. Before we get to your phone calls, producer Eric, we are going to go to Utah. Officials are starting that news conference, providing an update on the assassination of Charlie Kirk, as we are now hearing from those in charge. And let's go now to Orem, Utah.
I'm Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. Today at approximately 12:20 Mountain Standard Time, political influencer Charlie Kirk was shot at an event at the Utah Valley University. He was taken by private vehicle to Timpanogos Hospital, where he later passed. The Utah Department of Public Safety will be co-leading this criminal investigation to find this killer, along with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're working in unison with the County Sheriff's Office, the local police department, and the University Police Department, all of which have been very cooperative. And shortly after the shooting, we did have a suspect in custody, George Zinn, but he was released from custody after we identified that he did not match the shooting suspect and was not an accurate person of interest. However, he has been booked into the county jail by Utah Valley University Police Department for obstruction of justice. We do still have an active investigation for the person of interest. This incident occurred with a large crowd around. There was one shot fired and one victim. While the suspect is at large, we believe this was a targeted attack towards one individual. This is a tragic moment in our state and in our country. As we heal, we encourage everyone who is struggling with news of the incident to call 988, our state mental health crisis line. In addition to that, our partners with the FBI will also be discussing other ways we can communicate through the public for tips and other information. Thank you.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the FBI, we extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Charlie Kirk. Our thoughts are also with the people who witnessed this traumatic event. We know that what you experienced was very difficult. Our thoughts are with you as well. As soon as we heard about the shooting, special agents and personnel from the Salt Lake field office responded immediately. We have full resources devoted to this investigation, including tactical, operational, investigative, and intelligence. To be clear, the FBI will fully support and co-lead this investigation alongside with our partners. We are working on setting up a digital media tip line, and as soon as it's established, we'll get that information out to everyone. I know there's a lot of questions. This is very much an active case, and this investigation is in its early stages. We are following all the leads and all the evidence. If anyone has any information, please report it to the FBI or local law enforcement. Thank you.
On behalf of President Jimenez, who we've been communicating with, and she's on her way back right now, I say that on behalf of Utah Valley University, we are shocked and saddened by the tragic passing of Charlie Kirk. We express our sincere condolences to the Kirk family. We grieve with our students, faculty, and staff who bore witness to this unspeakable tragedy. He was invited by the student group Turning Point USA to speak on our campus. We firmly believe that UVU is a place to share ideas and to debate openly and respectfully. Any attempt to infringe on those rights has no place here. We do not condone any form of violence at UVU and seek to make our campus a safe place for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this dark and tragic occasion. I want to thank our law enforcement officers who are leading this investigation, starting with Chief Long and his response here with the UVU Police Department. We're grateful for your leadership and your team. And again, to the speakers that you've just heard from who are co-leading this investigation. I also want to recognize Sheriff Mike Smith, who has been an invaluable partner as this investigation moves forward. I've been in touch with President Trump, with FBI Director Kash Patel. We are completely aligned with our state and federal partners as we work through this case. Now, this is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation. That founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to two young children. He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people. Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated. And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates. That is foundational to the formation of our country, to our most basic constitutional rights. And when someone takes the life of a person because of their ideas or their ideals, then that very constitutional foundation is threatened. Now, we have a person of interest in custody. The investigation is ongoing. But I want to make it crystal clear right now to whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah. Our nation is broken. We've had political assassinations recently in Minnesota. We had an attempted assassination on the governor of Pennsylvania. And we had an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate and former president of the United States, and now current president of the United States. Nothing I say can unite us as a country. Nothing I can say right now can fix what is broken. Nothing I can say can bring back Charlie Kirk. Our hearts are broken. We mourn with his wife, his children, his family, his friends. We mourn as a nation. If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American. We desperately need our country. We desperately need leaders in our country. But more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be. To ask ourselves, is this it? Is this what 250 years has wrought on us? I pray that that's not the case. I pray that those who hated what Charlie Kirk stood for will put down their social media and their pens and pray for his family, and that all of us will try to find a way to stop hating our fellow Americans. With that, we're happy to take a few questions.
The FBI director is posting that a suspect is in custody. I would just like clarification. Do you or do you not have a suspected shooter in custody?
We have a person of interest in custody that is being interviewed right now. We do.
That is not George Zinn.
That is not George Zinn. Okay. That is correct.
Are you still searching or looking for another shooter or anybody else related to this?
Yes, we are actively looking for anyone and everyone who has any possible information relating to the shooting.
Can you tell us details about the suspect being taken into custody, where, how long ago?
We cannot at this point, but we will get you that information when we can.
Is there believed to be a second individual involved in the shooting?
At this point, there is no information that would lead us to believe that there is a second person involved.
Can you guys talk about the possible shooting?
Do you want to talk about what we know there? Yeah.
The only information we have on the suspect, the possible shooter, is taken from closed circuit TV here on campus. We do have that. We're analyzing it, but it is security camera footage, so you can kind of guess what the quality of that is. But we do know dressed in all dark clothing, but we don't have a much better description other than that.
Where do you think the shot came from?
The shot came from here on campus, from a location at a third, potentially from a roof, yes. A longer distance shot from a roof.
So to clarify, with the security camera footage you have and the person of interest that's in custody, does that match up?
That's what we're trying to decipher right now.
So did FBI or DHS have anything on this matter?
We will be sure to release it.
Any indications of foreign intelligence involvement?
As of now, I can't comment on any of that.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about the security of the event itself? Who was there security-wise, and what happens on these kind of events?
So my name is Jeff Long. I'm the police chief here at UVU, and I'll tell you right now, we're devastated. We're a small police department. We have a very large campus. We have over 40,000 students, and we love our students. We love our visitors, and we're devastated by what happened today. This is the police chief's nightmare. I'm very saddened for the Kirk family. I know his wife and parents found out about this. Obviously he's away from home. He's here in Utah. They find out by a police officer that visits their home. That's tragic. Nobody wants that. But I can tell you about our venue today. This was an open venue. This was outside. We did have 6 officers working that event. We had probably over 3,000 people that were in attendance. It sat down in kind of a bowl area here on the central campus. We have a waterfall area. And so he was kind of in a lower area. Surrounded by buildings. We had some plainclothes police officers that were in the crowd as well. We train for these things, and you think you have things covered, and these things, unfortunately, they happen. You try to get your bases covered, and unfortunately today we didn't. And because of that, we had this tragic incident. So we did have officers there. We had Charlie Kirk's team. He has a security team that travels with him, and they were here with him when he was shot.
Was the gun recovered?
I'm sorry, see?
Was the weapon recovered?
At this point, I can't disclose that.
When Charlie Kirk was shot, there was a question being asked about mass shooting. Was that person apprehended, and do you know who asked that question?
Say the question again. I don't know if I understand what you're saying.
When Charlie Kirk was shot, he was answering a question about mass shootings specifically. Was that person apprehended, and do you know who asked that question?
I do not. We do not have that at this moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have time for just one more question, so thank you.
Yeah, a question for the chief as well. Was it your team or Kirk's team, or a combination of both, that kind of set the security protocol for the event?
So we work together. He has his team, and they do this all over the country. We all know that. This is not uncommon for them. They're very comfortable on campuses, and I was coordinating with his lead security guy, and so we were working together.
Was this a shooter type shot?
Ladies and gentlemen, those are all the questions that will be answered today. Again, thank you for covering this. We will be updating you as soon as we have additional information through normal channels, working with law enforcement. Again, our deepest condolences to the Kirk family and to the students who were there today. I would just ask everyone everywhere to please pray for their family and to pray for our country. We need it now more than ever. Thank you.
Eloquent words from the governor of Utah as officials update the assassination of Charlie Kirk. There was some confusion at the very beginning. The local police chief in Orem, Utah, said there is no suspect in custody. However, at that exact moment, FBI Director Kash Patel was posting on X that there is a suspect in custody, and the governor of Utah did clarify that. Yes, Spencer Cox said, yes, there is a suspect in custody. It is not the quote-unquote
quote local crank whose name is George Zinn, I believe, who was taken into custody, detained at the scene. He was apparently arrested on suspicion of obstruction of justice. He's been charged with that, or at least will be charged. He said that if you were celebrating at all, Cox did, that you need to take a look inside yourself for any better angel that might be in there. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll try to work in a couple of your phone calls. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Westbound on 94 going to be slammed from 16th to Hawley. Eastbound delays from the zoo over to past the stadium. Out in Waukesha County, multiple crews responding to a serious structure fire, Highway 67 south of Sunset. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taking a Walk Podcast.
Hi, I'm Buzz Knight, the host of the Taking a Walk Podcast, and join me for an episode with Rob Reiner talking about the new Spinal Tap release. Rob Reiner on the Taking a Walk Podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You got to get to Built Right today. Dan O'Donnell here for my friends at Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattresses. It is the best time to refresh your home locally. Built Right's biggest Labor Day sale ever, plus their $1 million clearance sell-off, are held over for a limited time. So shop where the O'Donnell family shops. We just love our new Amish-made dining set. 4 generations, 97 years strong. Built Right has the most experienced team and the best selection of affordable, better quality furniture and mattresses in Wisconsin. Built Right's 45,000 square foot showroom has thousands of items in stock, plus 500 mattresses. Be ready for your holiday guests. You'll find hard to find USA made, small scale, Amish made, real solid wood furniture, flippable mattresses, and more. Free in-store design services too. Built Right always saves you money. Voted best place to shop and open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, they're closed to be with family. Tell them Dan sent you to Built Right, 54th and Layton in Greenfield.
Home is where it happens. The you had to be there stuff. The blink and you missed it stuff. The holiday mishaps, the first steps, the impromptu pillow forts. Your home is where the we'll always remember this stuff happens. That's why the local experts at True Stone Home Mortgage are here to make sure your home stuff can happen. Local experts, amazing options, and an on-time closing guarantee. It's true, because we're True Stone. Terms, conditions, and timing restrictions apply. Conventional purchase loans only. Visit truestone.org for details. Equal housing opportunity.
I'm Total Health's Jay Johnson, the Falls and New Berlin. Seed oils, the #1 source of calories in American diets, developed as engine fuel in industrial lubricants, only ended up in the food supply for profit. Seed oils cause arthritis, heart disease, metabolic syndrome, stroke, type 2 diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, and chronic illness. Medical doctors prescribe dozens of pharmaceuticals for life to treat symptoms of the... tell you to stop. You sick is profitable. At Total Health, we teach eliminating seed oils from your diet improves true health and how you feel. Total Health finds the root cause of your fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, sleeplessness, then works with you, the whole you, eliminating symptoms and the chronic disease causing those symptoms. It's not theory. Relativity equals expertise plus execution is true. Total Health's holistic practitioners utilize proven science to help you feel and truly be the most helpful and well you. TotalHealthInc.com. That's TotalHealthInc.com.
Warshawski trial attorney Frank Crivello here. Folks, I'm Victor Harding. Frank is selected Best Lawyers 2024 Complex Litigation Lawyer of the Year. More impressive is Victor Harding named Product Liability Attorney of the Year again for 2024. It may sound boastful to mention these prestigious awards. It's not boastful considering if you or someone you love is injured, you need to know 2 attorneys from the same personal injury firm being chosen by other lawyers and judges for these caliber of awards is very rare. Heaven forbid you ever need an injury claim made on your behalf. If you do, the quality of your attorney and law firm will have a greater impact on the outcome than even the facts of your case. Former clients, other lawyers, judges, law enforcement officers, and even insurance adjusters, often our adversaries, refer their family and friends to Warshawski because they know Warshawski will achieve maximum compensation. Injured? It is about the money. Warshawski.com. That's Warshawski.com.
Hey, it's John McGivern here. You know I love network health.
One of the reasons is that they're local and they understand how important that is. Their exceptional customer service isn't just words on a page. It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
When you're injured, you want quick, specialized care, not a long ER wait. At Ortho ASAP, our orthopedic care specialists treat fractures, sprains, strains, sports injuries, and more right away. With on-site x-rays and expert care, we get you back on track faster. Open 7 days a week with locations in Brookfield and Pewaukee. It's more affordable than the ER. Walk in, get treated, and get back to life. Ortho ASAP. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Injured? Call Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
iHeart's Yacht Rock Radio goes commercial-free every weekend. Enjoy the greatest 70s and 80s smooth soft rock all weekend. All commercial-free. High tide, low tide, no tide. Yacht Rock Radio works anywhere. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search Yacht Rock, and make it a preset now.
Romeo Dobbs has a pylon. Touchdown, Green Bay. The home of your Green Bay Packers and the flagship of the Packers Radio Network. And there is your dagger. 97.3 The Game.
The latest on the assassination of Charlie Kirk, FBI Director Kash Patel says a suspect is in custody. This was not the elderly man who was detained right after the shooting. Kirk was killed with a single gunshot wound to the neck. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Efforts to revive him were unsuccessful. Close-up video of the assassination, which I believe to be accurate and not AI generated or AI enhanced, show that this was just always going to be an unsurvivable injury. Unfortunately, that in fact, he was very likely dead almost immediately. That he just had lost too much blood for this to be a survivable wound. Let's start with Eric in Richfield. We only have a couple of minutes left. We do have to get to one more commercial break, but go ahead, Eric, please.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Dan. Longtime listener, first-time caller. Just blown away. That guy was such a champion of free speech, promoting independent thoughts, and just an inspiring individual. It's a shock, and it kind of leaves one to wonder, like, what's left for free speech now? Like, where does free speech sit under the threat of a gun?
No, exactly. You can't have free speech under the threat of a gun. I can tell you what it means for me. I'm not backing down. I'm not going to cower in the face of not just a heckler's veto, but what I'll term the assassin's veto. And I hope other conservatives feel the same way. I can tell you what it also means is, as soon as this show is over, I am going home to my wife, and we are going to talk about personal security and security for my family. But right now, it is frankly dangerous to be an outspoken conservative. Thank you so much for the call. Let's go to Jake in Cedarburg. You're up next on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Hey, Dan, thanks for taking my call. I think for me, just, also factoring in, the stabbing, in Cincinnati earlier this week, I think it just shows that it's not the act.
Yeah.
It's not the act. It's the, it's the person that was affected and whether or not that fits a certain narrative.
Yes.
It's not the fact that someone was shot and killed today. Yep. All that matters is that they were a conservative. Or, the shooting in Minnesota, doesn't matter that kids at a school were killed. It's that they can use it for gun control arguing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's how the act of violence is going to be spun by the controllers of the narrative is what you're saying. And that would be the political left. That would be their megaphone and the most powerful weapon they have, the ability to shape public opinion. That's an excellent point. I'll tell you what, Jake, do me a favor. We're running way short on time. I hear one of your kids in the background. Give him a big hug and kiss for me. Okay.
I will do that. Thank you.
And say a prayer for a couple of little babies who aren't going to have daddy coming home ever again. And that their poor mother who has to explain to them why daddy isn't going to come home. And the second they're old enough to go to school, they're going to know. You know what? I can't say anymore because I'm probably going to tear up again. Let's go to Scott in St. Francis up next. How you doing, Scott?
Hey, Dan, I got to see Charlie Kirk at Zeidler Park when he was speaking here during the RNC. It's a tremendous loss. When you said it was similar to the MLK assassination, I had to take a step back and actually reminisce that, because it really is like that, where you don't have somebody now to go to the college campuses without those kinds of threats.
Yeah.
I say we now just have to do what Charlie would want us to do. Be involved, speak, debate those that challenge us, and have those kinds of conversations with people without violence, and just win the argument. And educate people. That's just what Charlie would want.
It absolutely is. Scott, I'm sorry to cut you off. We are going to end the show a little early. We got one more break to get to. Much more on this tomorrow. Thank you all for being here with me on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Now, here's traffic from Tri